Hello, and welcome back to the Ginger Joe Rating Show. We're back for a little bit of a off the cuff review of Galway and Goodwood last week, looking at future winners and any impressive performance from the two lads. And we're going to do a quick preview. We are not doing the Shergar Cup, forget about that crap. But we'll do a few ITV races from Haydock, one from Newmarket, and two from the Curragh, which has Grade 1 2-year-old Group 1 Phoenix Stakes over 6 furlong. First of all, how are you, lads? Hello, Liam. How was flying the helicopter today?
Flying the helicopter? Yes, yeah, I know. Unfortunately, my microphone on the laptop picks up absolutely nothing, so I've got to wear this and look like a bit of a fool. But I'm all good, thanks, Jay.
I'd check her not paying you enough to get another laptop, Liam, no?
Certainly not, no.
Joe, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Good, Jame.
We leave a reveal off for another day, but keep your hat on anyway for the
Like, shall I reveal it now?
Yeah, you might as well.
Different people.
Ginger Joe is officially no more.
Bold Joe, we might have to do a little bit of a rebrand.
We're going to have to do a rebrand for the start of the season. But yeah,
yeah, I'm good, Jame. I feel like I've become middle aged because every time I have a shave, my hair comes back so quick and so grey that it was getting a bit frustrating. So I thought, let's just whip it off for a bit and see how we go. So it's not a surprise to me because I have been bald before, but
it's fantastic now, Joe. You look older than me and Liam. But anyway,
well, I certainly feel. Me and Liam are the same age, but I looked older anyway. But I thought I looked a bit younger with the shaven head, but not sure I was going to go down. But the hat shall remain for now.
45 now, but we won't say no more.
Yeah, it's all good. I feel it. It's fine, mate.
Right, I'm going to do a couple of random things at the top of my head. I did not prepare this, but we're going to go for it. We'll start at the Monday of Galway, and this horse that's shown a lot of people because it won a race the same as Mystical Power before, owned by JP McManus. I see a lot of people saying this horse has no chance of winning Supreme. I would totally agree with them. But you seem to like this Davy Crockett, Joe. On your Twitter feed, you've been, I suppose, going on about this horse for a while. Davy Crockett, after he won his bumper, was he impressive? And I suppose he was impressive to get himself out of a bad mistake.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm a pedigree fan, aren't I? So I like the fact he's like a Camelot Annie Power. I like all of that stuff too. But yeah, it was a nice performance, Jamie. He's won a bumper, now he's won over hurdle, so he's 2 for 2. But just because I like the performance doesn't mean I want to go back in him by any means. I certainly don't want to just go back the first performance I've seen this season. There's plenty of other stuff to come yet, and you're going to see a lot better performances, slicker performances, perhaps even speedier performances. I just don't want to go rush into backing. I don't see the point of that yet. We don't know what the opposition's like, so I keep my powder dry. But there's nothing wrong with the performance. Made a mistake and found again, so the engine's obviously good, but we didn't learn much, really, did we?
Liam, he's I see Willie Mullins said he's going on to Listowel next, probably for probably the novice hurdle, and then on to maybe the Royal Bond. That really Mullins is an early season target. With the Royal Bond, that was a grade 2, not a grade 1. Would he have any chance in that you think down the line?
It's difficult to say without knowing what the opposition is. I just hope that the renewal this time round, this season, will be better than last year. It wasn't a great race, was it, to be perfectly honest? Yeah, he won well. I wouldn't get overly excited. There's, as Joe said, not many horses that are coming out in the summer are going to go on to win these novice grade ones at the likes of Cheltenham. Bob Bollinger's the only one that I can think of. I think he was out really early, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. And obviously he went on to win. But yeah, nice horse.
It's interesting, Jay, isn't it? Like, people just want to. There's a lot of people that seem to just want to back every horse, like, for the Super. It's just not my style, and I think it's the same with you two. So what can you compare that to right now? So you're telling me right there that's the best performance you've just seen, and we're not going to see anything better all season.
I know, yeah.
Long way to go, man. Long way to go.
Yeah, you won't see the Supreme until Christmas, so forget about that. Galway Plate, I thought it was a very disappointing race. A lot of really fancied horses let us down, really. They've been around too long around the season. Western Fall came out on top. The form it was a bit there during the summer. Gordon Elliott won again, and then our Galway Plate, he's the record 500. Would you see this horse going into greater races in the future, Joe?
I mean, he might be pitched into them, but that's off the back of a hatchet now. I mean, how much higher is he going to go before he needs to step into that company, really? But you obviously now question how much ability is left. I know when we were on with Kieran, we sort of spoke about Western Fold is the improver. He won his last two, and sometimes horses in form just continue improving. But he's going to have to improve a fair bit more still for me to get into graded company competitively anyway. So, but it was a good performance, and to be honest, Gordon Elliott horses run really well this week. So nice to see at the same time, you know.
Liam, any opinions on him?
No, not overly. I agree with Joe. He'll obviously he'll reach his ceiling at some point, but then again, obviously, some horses just continue to improve. So once he's pitched in to graded races, we won't know, will we? I thought Jazzy Mate travelled well for a long way. In all fairness, just didn't really find much when asked. But yeah, a bit disappointed. I think come the end of the race. I don't know why, but yeah, nice horse that won. Progressive.
I had the same feeling after. I thought it was not a great renewal, especially when Jesse Evans always finishes second in Galway, and it's just like he's a flat track horse, really. But in fairness, he's run well at all the Galway festivals for the last 3 or 4 years, but he doesn't seem to get it done. The hurdle, there was a small bit of controversy, but I think it was the right decision. And Davy, who has great handicap form, second in the county, obviously, to Cargeese. Next to him was Helvic Trine to pull a long way clear of the rest. Poor enough renewal, I thought, compared to last year. The Bergring came out of it last year. I think now in Davy he's going to be handicapped to the hills. Helvic Trine, especially, was a great Group 1 winner on the flat as a 3-year-old. Any opinions on that, Liam? It's just the prize money really is the attraction, really, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. I think the only horse I'd possibly take out of it was Toon Surveyor. He's starting to slide to a nice mark, and if he gets good ground at potentially a nice pot in one of these handicap hurdles, he might be one to keep on the radar for later in the season. But no, again, a little bit underwhelmed. Obviously, we can't wait for the jumps to come around, and then when we're drip fed a bit of it, we start moaning. So we should probably be a bit more positive. But yeah.
And Toon Surveyor beat Romeo Cooley on the Royal Bond last year on good ground. So we'll hold that powder dry for another time. Joe, what do you think of the race? And Davy deserved to win?
Probably, to be honest. Yeah, I don't like to get involved too much in the hustle and bustle of things like that because I struggle to find where the line is. Perhaps, I don't know what crosses the line enough. Perhaps that's for the judges to decide. But it was disappointing from a fan's point of view. As you know, I wanted to see Ennis Kerry and Bowen's on Fire run well. Bowen's on Fire, obviously, and seated just sort of after the first, which was obviously disappointing. But he came out a bit nicely enough. And Ennis Kerry ran okay, just didn't compete. I've mentioned that he's quite a low mileage horse for an 11-year-old. Perhaps we're starting to see the back end of that now, though. He's obviously going to be 12 in a few months' time. So disappointing in that sense, but both horses came out safe and sound.
We'll move on to the flat and Goodwood. Technically, slightly, I suppose, a punter's graveyard. But on the first day, I thought there was a future, now gone 5-1, best odds favourite for an Ascot Gold Cup in Scandinavia, beating Illinois. Liam, we'll go back to you. Would he have? I know he was getting a stone from Illinois. Would you consider him for a Gold Cup next year?
Yes, I think I would. However, I do not want to hear the words Goodwood, Jame, until this time next year. Absolute bloodbath. My tipping and my punting was horrendous. I even asked for a particular price on track and they gave me the wrong number. I didn't check my ticket. I was cheering on my horse that then won, and then went to collect, and the bloke went, 7 didn't win, mate. It was 5. So my fault for not checking the ticket. So I thought I had a few quid in my pocket and cheered on a horse I didn't even back like an idiot.
That's unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable. And you can't even blame anyone, Liam, and you know it as well. It was like, I didn't check the bet. Like,
absolutely, yeah. It's not the bookie's fault, is it? It's mine. But yeah, silly boy.
Live and we learn.
Scandinavia, Joe.
Yeah, nice horse, Jane. Don't know what to make of him, to be honest. I know he's by Justified, like an outstanding sire at the moment, so could go on to be better. I maybe want to see it again, perhaps. That receiving weight. No, it's been a long season as well for Illinois, so not too sure, mate. Really.
I will mention one on the Tuesday, the Vintage Stakes win over 7 furlong. I think Eve Johnson Houghton has a really good 2-year-old on her hand. And Zalvateri beat the Godolphin horse. His name's escapes me. Do or Do Not was third. Obviously, was second to Gestad in the Coventry. Yeah, I have backed it for the 2,000 guineas at 25-1. Paddy Power this morning. I think this is a good horse, but I think one of the July Stakes was much race at a big price, but this horse is improving and was the only horse for a long time to carry a penalty in the Vintage Stakes. So on to better things towards the end of the season. Now, look, there's a lot of Aidan O'Brien horses to beat in the future autumn targets, hopefully the Dewhurst. But yeah, I think this horse is a really good horse. And you have to remember it's its third only run. So the improvement's going to come in buckets and spades, I hope. We'll move on to I suppose, the highest priced ever British Group 1 winner in Kierat. Joe, we come to you. What you make of the race? I thought it was a heap of crap. Field of Gold lane. Do you believe the connections, or it was just run off its feet? The times don't suggest it run off its feet. It was just a badly run race, and Kierat was there at the end when Serengeti of Aidan O'Brien's cried wolf. Was it the jockey's fault, or it was just Field of Gold had enough to?
I am not sure whose fault it was for that to happen, but Kierat did. He hit the front, then went behind, and then got brought back into the race by Serengeti overtook him, wasn't it? Second, yeah. So he ended up getting a good toe into the race after trying to set the pace. I don't know how those in behind didn't close the gap though. Must have been something in the fractions. I didn't have a bet Goodwood this week. I actually sticked with Galway, so I didn't really get a deep look at these. But yeah, just a strange race, Jame. And look, sometimes these things happen, and you've got to take it on trust, I guess, with the gods and saying Field of Gold was lame. And I suppose we've got no reason not to believe that when we've seen how good he can be, perhaps. At the same time, Goodwood wasn't necessarily going to be his forte, was it, with his running style, I suppose.
Yeah, what did you think of the rest?
It was just a bit bizarre, wasn't it? I think what was most interesting were the comments after from Kingscote saying, "Had I seen a grey nose coming up sides me?" Well, it wasn't exactly that, was it? I don't want to misquote him, but he said when he saw it wasn't a grey nose coming upside him, he basically put everything into his ride, which I thought was interesting. I'm not sure if there should be more transparency around team tactics and things like that, or whether people think, look, you should be riding your horse on your own merit. If that horse was good enough to beat Field of Gold, had he not been lame, he should have been ridden the same way anyhow. But obviously, we know the game.
The Nassau Stakes was run on the Thursday after a flag start, which I thought was an absolute disgrace. There was lightning in the area. Why can't you just delay the race for 5, 10, 15 minutes?
Sure.
Whirl, who was actually second in the Oaks to Mini Hawk. Obviously, they went on to ruin the Pretty Polly and beat Colpana, who was second in at King George to Calandigan. Whirl got its own way in front, Liam. Is she a bet for the Arc de Triomphe, or will she stay later in the season?
She wouldn't be a bet for me. I'd be with some of the other girls. The horse that beat, the horse that won over in France, forget the name. And there's a couple of others. I think Calpana on softer ground conditions.
Is it Leffard?
No, it's not.
No.
I think it won it was with the equivalent of the French Oaks. Beat Bedtime Story.
Oh, I know the one you're on about. We'll get it.
Anyway, I think she's still improving. I think Calpana and there's a couple of others. Last year's second in the race. I haven't seen much. Yeah, they'd be higher on my list as opposed to but yeah, it was over before it even started, wasn't it, Jamie? With that flag start, and she stole a few lengths, and that was it.
Joe, what did you think of the race?
Yeah, bad start. They gave her a huge start. She was the best horse in the race. She did still win well, though. I know people are going to say, well, she's got given that easy lead, but she was by far the best filly in the race, wasn't she? So I'm like Liam, though. I wouldn't fancy her for the Arc. I know she beat Calpana, but I'd still be on side with Calpana in the Arc over. I just think it would suit her better. I'm not totally sure it's the right race for Whirl, actually, either. So I'd still be in the side with Calpana, but I think Whirl's a very, very good man, a very likable one too, because she's just improved all year. Probably played second fiddle a few times to a couple of horses, but keeps improving with them, so she's in with the top bunch too now.
And there's two left to talk about right at the top of my head. 2 2-year-olds, one a filly and one a colt, obviously. Lady and Man, very impressive, I thought. Backed, defeat was out of the question, really. Joe, Brian Moore came off and said if she gets an inside draw in the Breeders' Cup Sprint, she'll win. But now Gerline's after coming out and saying she's in the Nunthorpe. Would you consider her for a Nunthorpe, even though how poor and the amount of weight she's getting? Would she have a squeak in a Nunthorpe?
Possibly. Just not interested. Just not interested, Jim. Not interested. So I can't give enough of an opinion because don't know what to expect, to be honest.
And then he'll tip Lady Amen and he's at Shepherd column with him in the Nunthorpe
Uh,
match. Come on, we'll write it down. Write it down.
I just don't know what to make. She looks like she's been winning over these short trips, but she looks like a miler to me. I don't know why. She just looks like always like do Valentine.
Oh God, she's far from a miler. Liam, what do you think? Would she trouble Charles Darwin in an Nunthorpe?
Yeah, quite possibly. Whether she turns up there, I think it'll be a battle between the people who pay the bills and obviously Gerlines himself. I don't think he's very keen on going to the Nunthorpe, so we'll have to wait and see. But by the sounds of it, the owners are going to win.
Oh, I think so too. Coppell was another winner of the Richmond Stakes, a race that I think doesn't get the, I suppose, credit it is, but I don't think for future targets will make up to be top class horses. Obviously, Coppell beat Puerto Rico, a horse that I like. We stick with Julian Coppell. Obviously, was third in the Coventry. I suppose he's not even going to get near Gestad or True Love in the future, will he? Towards the end of the season.
No, I wouldn't have thought so, Jamie. This is the race with Havana Hurricane in, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that horse is definitely the best horse in the race. Gave them so many lengths from the start, broke slowly out the stalls, and then was rattling home. But yeah, if you're going to break slowly from the stalls in these sprint races, you're gonna have trouble, aren't you? But yeah, nice horse. Again, not blown away by much really, I suppose, over the last week, and I was looking forward to it prior.
Stay away from Goodwood, Liam. That's what I'm getting the vibe off. Don't ever go near that place again.
I've self-excluded myself from Goodwood.
Joe, what do you think of that horse? Nice horse from Clive Cox.
Yeah, good. I actually did have a bet. So
yeah, you backed him. Yeah,
backed him. Yeah, I did forget, but yeah, he won really nicely, sort of thing, and good form. Obviously, with Gestad the previous time, only 3 lengths to 5 with him, so that's a massive boost for Gestad. So yeah, form looks strong. It's been backed up by what he's done previously. He's only going to get better, and he's still a colt as well. There could be loads to come from him still. Yeah.
Right. That was a quick Galway, Goodwood. You can see the enthusiasm that we won't be just as much as excited next year about Galway and Goodwood. Thank God it's over. So we'll move on to our quick fire preview. 5 races. We'll start with Haydock. My listed race, the Irish Stallion Farms Dick Hearn Stakes at Haydock, 225. And the favourite here, joint favourites, is Celestial Orbit and Shawari. Never Let Go is 7-1 with Stop the Cavalry. Areola is 8-1 and Protest is 8-1. And it's 9-1 bar. Lads, I really struggled with this one. I came down on 1, but I let you talk first. Liam, I let you go first.
Yeah, I quite liked the look of Arisag, not the usual silly prices. But yeah, he's got some decent form. Epsgard, he finished just a few lengths, 3.5 lengths behind him earlier in the season. He ran a really good race at Goodwood, to be fair, one of the only ones that managed to hit a place for me during the week. Beaten by a short distance, even though finishing 5th behind Crimson Advocate. And I thought he was potentially still had a bit of progression to come in here. So that's the one that I would probably side with, but not too dissimilar to you, Jamie. And this will be a common theme, unfortunately. Struggling a little bit for this weekend, looking at the races.
Yeah, Celestial Orbit, Joe, has ran in a Group 1 the last time, hasn't been seen since. Shawari took a big break from her 2-year-old campaign, second to Ylang Ylang in the Phillies Mile. Came out the last day at Kempton, 6th with a bounce. Stopped the Cavalry, Areola and all them. Fair Point, who has a bit of form. Sparks Fly, who I think only needs heavy ground. I'd be all over this if it's heavy ground. Any fancy in this?
Yeah, I like this race, James. It's probably one of the ones that I do like this weekend. Just something I'd like to just quickly touch on. Stop the Cavalry, the 4-year-old filly for Beckett. 7-1 at the moment. Has won twice over 6 furlongs, but her best effort was actually last time out when she was third at Longchamp in a listed event over a mile. That was her best effort, even though she's won twice over 6 furlongs. Wasn't last time out, sorry, it's 3 starts back, but she was then dropped to 7 furlongs twice and ran to an official rating of 104 sort of both times. back up to a mile should bring out improvement in her again. That is where her best form has come, and it just made things look much easier for her. 6 furlongs did look like things were possibly happening a little bit too quick for her, but her class got it done for her. And the fact that she improved when she went right up to a mile is just really, really encouraging for me. If this was over 1 mile 1 mile 2 on soft ground, I think she's an absolute certainty. But the fact that we've got good ground here of a mile, it's just a tad of a worry. But she's definitely going to get competitive. But you just want to wait for Dex, as well as the Ollie Sangster too. Jame, both of them, Celestial Orbit or Shawari, only one of them is going to run because Jamie Spencer's jocked up on both horses here. Now, Celestial Orbit definitely needs to bounce back, but Shawari is a really, really interesting because she was a top 2-year-old filly. She was only beaten half a length by Ylang Ylang in the fillies mile, which is obviously a really class Group 1. Now, she missed her entirety of, a 3-year-old campaign. She had a good comeback run last time out to finish 6th, really close up, to be fair, and was well supported. That's really going to blow the cobwebs off her. And if you're going to bring Group 1 form into the race, again, you'd expect to get deeply competitive. So here's the deal. If Ollie Sangster runs Shawari and not Celestial Orbit, I will back Shawari. Otherwise, I will back Stop the Cavalry if Shawari doesn't turn up.
Yeah, the one I came down on was the Sandringham winner in Never Let Go. Very tentative vote. The only reason I came down it is I went up and down all the horses and won the Sandringham. And who did she beat? And she beat Tabiti, who obviously dead heated. The 2 Beckett horses dead heat in the Group 3 fillies race at Goodwood last week with Sakara Sands. Third was Bright Thunder. That is good enough form for me, and that will do for me. But after that, no, it's not a race I'd be getting stuck in. But for each way purposes, I like Never Let It Go. Yeah. So we move on to the 3 o'clock, the mile 2.5, Group 3 Rose of Lancaster Stakes. The favourite here is the horse that you mentioned earlier, Detain at 3-1. Nahran is 7-2. Hatem, the Wolverton Stakes winner in Ascot winner, is 4-1. Military Orders 5s. 5-1 Royal Dubai and 10-1 Caviera Heights. Joe, we'll stick with you. Detain, 3-1. Is he the winner for you?
It's too difficult in the market between Hartem, Naran, Detain, Military Order. Very, very little between them. You can't back any of them each way either because none of them are even 5-1. Royal Dubai is 5-1. He has got a really good chance here, good each way bet usually. But the fact that there's still 4 ahead of him in the market at 5-1, it becomes unappealing to me. If we got 3 or 4 runners, well, maybe 2 or 3 ahead of him max, really, then it would become a good bet. But so I don't really fancy much strongly, but Oki Chobi is an interesting runner here for Harry Charlton and Kieran Schumacher, 16-1 with an official rating of 110. But that rating came after running pretty damn poorly, to be honest. Actually was pretty good though at peak form, but still has 7 lengths to find with Royal Dubai, 4 lengths to find with Military Order. But he has won a Group 3 the time before when he started slowly, so there is a big run in this horse as well. He's just had loads of issues, but you're getting the price you're supposed to find out. Probably
Kieran, sorry, I was going to say, and Kieran Schumacher back on board a Juddmonte horse.
Yeah. Didn't even sort of consider that. But I got no problem backing Kieran Schumacher. I know some people do, but it's probably not. The market doesn't add up for me to have a bet in here. But if I'm pushed, it'd be Royal Dubai and Okeechobee, I suppose.
Liam?
I ended up settling on the favourite. It's been well supported in the last few days. It's obviously got that decent form line when beat just under a length by Camille Pizarro over in France. He needs to return to form to a degree. But given the fact that obviously he's getting the weight for age off near enough the entirety of the field, I thought he was probably still around about a backable price. So yeah, with the favourite for me, Jamie.
Jesus, must be full moon outside tonight. That Liam Firkin is picking a favourite. I 100% agree with you, Liam, because I actually backed him to win the race. Camille Pizarro did, and he finished third. And I think it wasn't his true running, to be honest with you, at Ascot. And not the forgiving type, but I'm willing to forgive him in this race because I think it's not a great race. And as you said, he's been well backed at the moment. He's 3-1 on the best odds, and he will do for me too. So we move on to Newmarket, the 340, which is the Sweet Solera Stakes. And the favourite here is a horse that we're sick that didn't run in the Prince of Margaret Stakes at Ascot a couple of weeks ago. In Dance to the Music at 2-1. Bella Lyra is 6-1. Venetian Lace is 6-1. 15-2. Princess Petrol, is it? And Amora Queen is 8-1. Joe, dance to the music. Surely this is a good thing.
Yeah, I agree, Jamie. Like I said, we really fancied her, didn't we, when she sort of last lined up. And I'm not a massive fan of the opposition here. Balalira will stay Sexton Trip, but still needs to find plenty. But this dance to the music is a nice filly, ran over 6 furlongs by Dubawi. So inevitably, this step up to 7 furlongs will be absolutely ideal. There's going to be plenty more to come from her, Jamie. And again, Billy Loughnane actually won on her on debut, which is nice to see. And he's actually retained that ride. He's going to be riding for them soon, isn't he? They're going to snap him up, I'd say. Yeah, that's a good thing. Good thing.
Yeah, I'm with you, Joe. I really fancied it, and it was going to win an Ascot. Very impressed by thought in its debut. Newmarket, slightly worried, I suppose, that hasn't been seen since. But look, we'll be able to forgive him. 2-1 to find out is good enough for me. Liam, is it a full house?
Yeah, from a betting perspective, I probably wouldn't really be interested in playing at kind of 2-1. But yes, again, I ended up coming back to the favourite. But evidently, there is a bit of each way value in here, especially if you're playing anti-post. So obviously, I'm not quite sure when this will go out. But obviously, if declarations haven't been made and you can get on anti-post rules, and obviously you're definitely going to get your 3 places. Amora Queen, she won't turn up here. She's been declared for the 7th. So obviously tomorrow. She's a really nice horse. Won really well the last day. Step Up in Trip will suit. One for people's trackers. And therefore, I just thought around about 6-1, the second favourite, Bella Lyra. She reversed the form the last day with Midnight Tango. And you're pretty much getting a little bit of an each way bet to nothing. And should the favourite misfire, then you may even pick up some money from from the win part of the bet. That said, it's not as if you're going to be pinching a load of profit backing a horse at 6-1 each way to nick a place. So again, sorry Jamie, and sorry to everyone viewing, it's pretty useless for them. Probably just watch this one.
Yeah, that's fine. Right, we'll move on to the last 2 races that we're going to preview quickly. The first is, we have no prizes for this, is the 6 furlong Phoenix Sprint Stakes, the Group 3 for the older horses. We'll start. I'll pick out random horses here. Art Power, I think, and Big Aussie won this race before. Bucrano Fuente is only won group races over 5 furlongs. Kind of blue, kind of gone at the game. Neat Levi, Spy Catcher, the Highway Rat, Verspatilio, Babouche, Ides of March. Anything tickle your fancy here, Liam, when you looked at this?
Art Power to a degree, obviously the course and distance form. However, his mark's sliding, and that's attractive to a degree, but obviously he's not getting any younger, and it's sliding for a reason. It's because of the performances he's putting in. You'd have to be forgiving for a few of these, wouldn't you? Kind of blue if he were to turn up. Lethal Levi, I thought, was interesting. Obviously a winner at the distance. He's the one that I've kind of come down with, but still quite tentative, and probably needs to have a second and third look at the race. It might be a boring weekend for me at this rate.
Yeah, the 2 I kind of came down, and if I see if they turned up, I suppose because of his 2-year-old form, and I look a small bit. Few horses have actually won races after the Commonwealth Cup. Babouche should definitely be one of interest because he's still top rated at 111, and he gets no penalty. And the other one, I backed the last day at the Curragh for William McCreary, and I think she's just a 6 furlong horse. She's worth way more than the nose victory, and it's for Sportilio. If she is a decent price, I will back her. Joe?
Yeah, look, it's probably easy to better the passage, James. I'm the same, struggling a little bit. Buccaneerto Fuerto made a little bit of appeal, but like you said, there's a lot of horses that are struggling for form here. Kind of Blue just hasn't trained on at all, has he? Too much. It's just not a race for me, this, James. So I'm gonna just slide on by.
Joe, would Ides of March definitely be in the bin for you? Wouldn't give him another chance.
Yeah, I wouldn't say so. He just hasn't even shown much actual ability. Like, he travels okay and doesn't find either. Just might not be. He just might be one of these that hasn't necessarily fulfilled his potential that they thought might have been there. Perhaps it wasn't to start with. Maybe cost me a few quid as well, didn't he? I put him up anti-post for the Commonwealth, and that one hurt a little bit. So
yeah. So we move on to the Group 1, the only Group 1 is the 2-year-old Keeneland Phoenix Stakes at 4 o'clock at the Curr over 6 furlongs. And the favourite at 4 to 5 on the best odds is the Coventry winner in Gestad. 5 to 2 in here, True Love. Green Sense is 7 to 1. Beautify for O'Brien again, 8 to 1. Power Blue, 8 to 1. Andab, who ran last week, probably won't run here. Puerto Rico probably only run here, 12 to 1. I'd say this is going to be a small field, 3, 4, 5 max. Gestad at 4 to 5. Joe, is this turn up, shoot, and good luck, and move on to bigger targets?
How do you take him on?
Yeah.
Miles clear on ratings, and you've got to be. I just don't understand how you'd want to take him on. This is a short one for me. That I'll have a decent go providing he gets declared tomorrow. It might go quite short, but I'm fine with that. I think he's a good thing, yeah.
I agree. I think there's nothing. I think this is a rattling good 2-year-old. It's a grade 1 in name, but I mean, like, there's too many of these races, to be honest, to both sides of the water. He'll win. Yeah, go on.
Are we assuming True Love's not going to run it? By the way, I assume we've all considered.
Well, it's either or. Like, but like True Love is a filly. Like, I know it gets the it's
£3.
3 pounds from the Colts. Yeah, I just don't see it, Joe. To be honest with you.
Okay, cool.
But,
Good.
But like when it gets declared, obviously, because that won't be 4 to 5.
Back him at 4 to 7. If he goes down to 4 to 7, I'd still back.
Yeah, I would too, to be honest with you. Liam?
Well, if you're a numbers person and you trust the handicapper, you'd definitely be backing True Love if she were to turn up. She's rated £1 higher and is obviously gonna get 3 off Gestad, but I think that's a bit of a false. Yeah, I think that's false, and obviously that'll be turned around. I think when he goes and wins, obviously said two more runs as well. Yeah, there's no each way value in behind. You don't really know what is going to turn up. Again, O'Brien's got how many entered for this? Yeah, if you like your muggy roll-ups, there's your first leg.
And how many people would be giving out if that was all Willie Mullins? But sure, it's different because it's Aidan O'Brien. Roll on the jumps. Yes. Right, lads. Sorry for being. It's just not a great weekend, to be honest with you, but we have to keep up the consistency. Please like and subscribe. And hopefully we'll be nice and chirpish when we return. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.